back to episode 4 of the simulator chats. Today I'm playing Spyglass Hill, which I believe this is the first time I've played this course. I ended up playing it twice. Like I've said before in previous videos, I've kind of pre-recorded these out a decent bit. I think I have about 10 of these saved up, if not a little more at this point. So this is the first time I'm playing this one from the white tees. First time I've ever played this course. I saw a lot of guys on YouTube playing it, like the Foreplay group, and I think Sean Walsh did a series here. So figured I would give it a shot. I know I believe it's part of the Pebble Beach grouping of courses. So start with, this is the first episode that I do the no putt mode. I briefly mentioned it in other chats that I was going to be switching to the no putt mode. I just felt that the putting was not completely accurate with these simulators, and spending the extra few minutes, maybe not over the course of like every hole, but a few minutes over every like 3 holes, putting and trying to hit the ball in every time, or walking over, and if I was like a foot away, just doing the one stroke auto gimme. I've realized I was just wasting a lot of time where I should be focusing on driver, long to mid irons, maybe a couple wedges here and there. I feel like some of the chipping like around the green isn't fully accurate with these simulators, but it's good practice. Like I'd say like 30 yards and out, it's pretty accurate, a nice feel shot to it. And at the end of the day, I'm just looking here to get some decent swings, just in the winter. I believe this was also, I think, filmed before Christmas, maybe around Christmas of 2025. Living in the Northeast, it's pretty cold, so I wanted to take the opportunity to just keep working on my game during the winter when the courses were closed and we were getting snow outside, and decided that going to the simulators every once in a while was a good idea. But paying $60 per hour for a simulator and spending, maybe 15 minutes hitting putts and watching the thing load after hitting putts just became a waste of time. So this is the first episode of the no putt mode, and you will see these first few holes I struggle around the greens. I was trying to be like too cute. I felt like you're gonna watch right here, I end up chipping this one and I left it short, so it's on like the fringe. I still have to hit this again, and I step up here to hit my next one, and I end up hitting this one over the other side of the green. It barely rolls to the other fringe. You're going to see that several times throughout this video, so this isn't my best round. And later rounds, as I got used to the no putt mode, I started thinking of it more of like, hit it like I'd be on the actual course. Try to make it, try to hit it in the hole. You can just see right there, I just try to like tap it, just like get it on the green, get me to the next hole, I'm done with this. And I realized later on, play like I normally would. Try to get it close to the hole, make it, a nice effortless tap-in par, or something that like actually would help benefit my game. Like working on actually getting the ball close to the hole. This first round though, I was just trying to get it on the green as quick as possible, and with that came, I would say, some just extra strokes that I added around the green. But the other thing you'll see here that I switch, I think it starts on this hole, is I switched the camera. So now, like if you guys follow me on TikTok, I appreciate it, but you'll see a lot of my videos more recently have been like this, where when I hit the ball, instead of just seeing the line, like the shot tracer, we're gonna follow the ball through every shot now. I feel like it's a little more exciting. I had a hole out on like one of my first few episodes that I did with the simulator chats, and because it was just like the shot tracer, you didn't see the hole out. This was just an awful shot by me. I just hosed this one out to the left, but you didn't get to see the ball go in the hole. You just heard it, and then like it popped up saying hole out. But going forward, I end up using this camera. I feel like it's a little bit more entertaining to watch. I also enjoy seeing the flight of the ball a little bit more. But just kind of get into the topics of this episode. So, got a few topics, a couple questions, just general things that I've heard a lot of other people talking about in their podcasts, and I just want to give my take on some of those. Just kind of an update on how my game's been feeling. I'm going to give this update comboed with like how I felt in this video, also with how I'm feeling now current day. I am filming this, I believe it's like the end of February. End of February is going to be going live in the beginning of March. So it's been about 2 months since I actually played this round at the simulator. Kind of mentioned before in other videos, when I book the simulator out for 2 hours, I can usually get through maybe 2 to 3 rounds every time. So when I do that, if I go once a week to the simulator, once every 2 weeks, I'm not playing every day, but I'm able to post videos every day. As it gets nicer out, I plan to go to the driving range consistently in the evenings after work, looking to play 9 holes after work, got the 5 for 7s, all things I've talked about in previous episodes. If you haven't checked those episodes out, please feel free to go back and watch those. I think there's 3 out at this point, as we are on the 4th. So, just to start with the first topic of this game, topic of this video is to just touch on where my game's at right now, and just some of the things we talked about in previous episodes. So I'd say at this point in the filming of this video, this is the 4th round of 18 holes that I have played. So again, this was like, I think like around right before Thanksgiving in November. This is like right before Christmas. So in a month span, this is about the 4th round that I've played. Prior to this, the last time that I played was in like, I think I played in like August, and then I played like once in like October. So it's been like, I played like twice over like maybe the last like 3 months, and now I'm getting back into it a little bit more. So the game was feeling not great. Definitely, I feel like it was slowly getting better. I was making more consistent contact. The swing felt better. My swing thoughts I was getting a little more comfortable with. In a lot of these episodes, you'll see I'm like, this one, I hit a low stinger here, not intentionally, but it works out really well. The contact's still not fully there at the filming of this video. At the same time, I was slowing down my swing a little bit more at this point, just trying to focus on club path. I think I talked about in the last video that I have a lot of people in my comment sections commenting about the distance that I hit the ball. And right now, that's not my primary focus. I could care less how far I hit it. The goal right now is to make smooth, consistent contact, center of the club face every time, not hitting it a groove low or a groove high, making sweet contact, kind of like the contact you feel when you hit the ball, and it doesn't even feel like you hit it, like you flush it. That's kind of the goal. Here I hit my driver 100, and I think it rolls out to maybe 190, maybe a little less, just under 190 yards. Not taking like full aggressive swings. You'll see in probably about 4 or 5 episodes from now, I was consistently putting it out there about 230. Still not where I want to be. Still looking to get more to that 250, north of 250 every single time, and kind of progressing from there. But it's funny, right after I filmed that last podcast episode, finished doing the recording like I'm doing right now, and I checked my phone, I opened TikTok, just was going to scroll as it was the evening at that point, and I had a notification of a comment, and the first comment was like, you should hit the gym or something, why are you so weak? And I was like, that is just perfect timing. I just spent the last episode talking about the negative golf culture, the toxic golf culture, and maybe that person's not really in the golf culture, maybe that person's just a rage baiter or a troller online, whatever. I don't entertain it. I usually just go back and just let people know that, like, listen, I appreciate your opinion, but I never asked for it, and if I cared about it, I wouldn't be posting online. But it was just ironic that right after I got done filming an episode about how the golf culture is all about like power and distance now, and I don't know if it's like, it definitely mixes of younger groups of people as well as older groups of people. Just everyone constantly has a complaint. No one can just go out and have fun playing golf. It seems like it's always a competition. I'm not competing with anyone, not trying to compete with anyone, and as you'll see as these episodes progress. Again, the big focus here of this episode was to just talk about the feel of my game, and you can see I hit a bad chip right here. It's not where I'm getting better every year, I would say, but my goal this year is to consistently shoot below 95. Last year I started consistently shooting in like I'd say 105 to 95 range. Usually I ended up most rounds like under 100 in that high 90s, but I'm looking to stay consistently below 95. I've never broken 90 before. I've gotten close. I shot like a 93 or 94, but it's a smaller course in the area that I live in. I think the yardage is like maybe like 52 to 5,500 from the white tees. It's like the men's tees, which is typically like the red tee distance on most of the other golf courses in my area. The condition of that course is also not very well, so it's not in good shape at all. I've posted videos, I've heard people comment saying that it looks like a gopher or a groundhog is the groundskeeper at that course because the condition the course is in, but it's just one of those courses where it's cheap, it's fun to play, it's good to go out last minute because they always have tee times available, and you don't have people like running up your ass trying quickly to like get through. You don't have like the obnoxious people. A lot of the people out there are either beginners or they're just out there to have a good time. But that just because of the conditions of that course, it brings its own challenges. So it might be a little shorter, but it's still a difficult course when the fairways aren't grass. You hit a ball in a fairway and you end up in a dirt patch, or the bunkers. This past year, the bunkers were actually considered ground under repair, even though they didn't do any repairs to any of the bunkers. So you pull the ball out and put it behind the bunker. Obviously that's a benefit, but now every time that you're chipping, instead of chipping maybe out of a bunker where some players are a little more comfortable, you have to chip over the bunker. And it's a good course, but that was my lowest round ever, but I typically don't count my scores as seriously there as I would some of my other courses that I play at. But game's feeling better. How it feels now, at the time of this video, like mid-January, was the last time I played. Like I played in mid-January, and then I went out and played today, actually. Again, it's like the end of February. So I took about like a month off, busy with just work and other things going on. But the last round I played prior to today, like I was hitting the drive really well, consistently finding fairways, long irons. Like I wasn't like duffing it or topping it, or I was having more consistent contact at that point. My chipping, I was able to knock things pretty close. I had yardages down, like the feel shots, they felt good. So I feel confident that once the weather gets a little better and I can get out consistently after work and hit the local driving range, or play 9 holes after work. Sometimes like I work right near a golf course and they have a nice chipping and putting area. Sometimes being able to go out on my lunch break in that hour, it's a 5-minute drive away, go out and spend like 40 minutes just practicing putts outside. The putting series that I have going right now, again, I am working a full-time job, so I kind of work to get a lot of these videos recorded, because editing can take some time, and after work I don't always feel like sitting down and editing videos, but I have about maybe like 25 episodes of the putting series that I'm going to be coming out with already recorded, and I'm going to keep recording them. Eventually I'll start dropping them, but the series is, my goal is to hit 25 putts in a row. I already did the 10 putts. It took me about 10 days to hit 10 putts in a row, and I have an 8-foot putting mat. I just hit it right in my hallway at my house, and the putts, however many days it takes, I'm going to give that amount away on a gift card, like a Golf Galaxy gift card or a Dick's gift card, or maybe I'll just, if someone's like, they want a golf club, say it takes me 100 days to do it and someone wants like a wedge, I'll just buy the wedge and ship it to them. I'll figure it out, but I'll pick a winner, one winner for YouTube, one winner for TikTok, and I'm going to give $1 for every day it takes me to complete that. Going into this challenge, I knew it was going to take me a while. It wasn't going to be some like 10-day challenge and it was done, so I was like, let me just start recording these I recorded some and then kind of was like a little inconsistent with it, but now I'm like, whether it's when I come home from work or in the morning before I go to work, every day on the weekdays I'm hitting putts. On the weekends I'm finding time to hit putts. So I'm running like a parallel series. It's kind of the same series but mixed together. I'm going to hit 25 putts to see how many I can make in a row. And then the other video will be I'll try to make the 25 putts in a row. So it'll give me practice hitting 25 putts, and then right after that I'll put the ball down and I'll start the series of making the 25 putts in a row. So maybe I'll go like 18 for 25, and then I'll make like 13 in a row. That way I can warm up a little bit, but game's feeling better now. Video, not very great. Kind of see we're moving pretty quickly right along here, so I'm going to jump into a couple topics. So I hear a lot of people talking about, is golf a game or a sport? And Garrett Clark of Good, he constantly says he thinks it's a game. I think it's kind of both. Like, is golf a game? Yes. If me and my friends are going out and playing on the weekend, I casually go out and play by myself. It is 100% a game. I feel like sports are determined by the competition aspect. It doesn't matter how many people you're competing against, it's you're competing for something. So when people say like NASCAR isn't a sport, that's personal preference. Like, you can feel like it's a sport or it's not. I feel like it's a sport because you're competing for a championship. You're competing for winning the race. You're competing for something. I use the reference a lot because I remember I first kind of had adopted this mindset in high school, because there's a lot of people that constantly said like, oh, like you do cheerleading, it's not a sport. I don't think cheering on the sidelines of a game, like a high school basketball game or a high school football game, and cheering is a sport. But I think if you go to a competition, cheer competitions, that is a sport now, because it's the competition aspect. Again, personal opinion. So I think casual golf is a game. High school, college, and professional golf, that includes things like Korn Ferry Tour or Live, I think that is a sport. You're playing for, ultimately you're playing to win the tournament. And the other argument I hear people say is like, oh, is golf a game? Like, you say that you're going to go like play a game of golf, or it's the world's greatest game. Well, like, if I have a basketball game, I just said I have a basketball game. Does that make basketball a game? It's just kind of like a play on words at that point. But I feel like it can be both. I feel like when you're talking about the highest levels of competition, college, high school, like when you're playing on your team, or when you get to the professional levels, I think it's a sport. I think casually going out and playing on the weekends with your friends or when you're retired, it's probably more of a game. But another thing that I hear a lot of people talk about is golf more physical or mental? Is it about physical abilities, or is it about mental toughness? Some people can be unbelievably talented, swing like just really gifted, maybe a lot of power, really great touch. But if you have one bad hole or your shots just aren't going your way that day, mentally you just blow up, and now your whole game falls apart. So I'd be interested to hear what anyone has to say about that, if you want to throw a comment down below. But I'm mixed on it. I feel like it's a combination. You have to obviously physically work on your game, but the mental aspect of it is, I think, it's very important. Hole to hole, shot to shot, what happened in the past has to stay in the past. You have to have a short memory and forget about it. It's the way a lot of these pros are able to hit bad shots and then rebound very quickly. It's because mentally they're just very strong. And that's something I talk about all the time with just athletes in general, is if you take a professional football player, for example, these players coming out of college, they're at the combine, they're running 4.3, 4.4 40s, unbelievably fast, quick agility. You have a lot of guys that don't pan out but are like freak athletes. But you have a lot of guys who aren't freak athletes, Tom Brady, for example, but mentally he's just far superior than a lot of other people. There's a whole mental side And I think when you're talking about the top level talent, the difference between, I would say, like a guy who didn't make it or like had a very short career versus a player who had a long career isn't as much physical, it's more mental. But I just feel like that goes with not just sports like football or basketball or baseball. I think it also goes with golf, and golf probably more than any sport, considering you're in a sense you're competing with yourself to do the best you possibly can, to put yourself in the best position to beat someone else who's trying to also do the best they possibly can. So it's one of those things where the mental aspect of the game is very important. I think a lot of people overlook that. But coming down here, I'm on the final hole. Trying to see where I'm at here. I'm 18 over. Again, I talked about before, the goal of this series is to try to shoot 18 over or better. Again, this was definitely a tough series for me, but I end up putting this one close. I think I'm able to save par and shoot exactly 18 over. So this is the end of Simulator Chat 4, and I appreciate everyone watching. If you stayed this long, please like and follow, and see you in the next one.